Range is hot. This right here, this is a typical firing stance, which is great if that paper target doesn't happen to be firing back at me. If he was, I'd have to take cover, wouldn't I? Behind something like this steel wall. This is me popping out my head looking for some guy to shoot at. What's the problem? I'm now as much of a target as he is. In fact, this is the most dangerous place to be in a firefight. 50% of casualties happen right here when a guy's peeking around a corner trying to see what he's shooting at. That's where this guy comes in.
Hosed. This is not smoke and mirrors, this is real delivery. Nice to see it in action.
His name is Matthew Haggerty. He's a hard-working, gun-toting inventor, and he's come up with something that he thinks is going to keep soldiers safe in a scenario just like this one. Range is hot! Bad guy down! How you doing, partner? Hey. I am in the Wild West tourist town of Columbia, California. An enemy firefight has broken out here in downtown Old Town Columbia. I brought Matthew Haggerty along with me. Give me the gun in your hands right now.
Run, you got 3 seconds.
And we're asking the regular folk here, how would they take cover in a gunfight? Essentially, how are you gonna fire around a corner here? You're just trying to, what are you trying to get him in the left elbow?
Oh, it's shooting.
Have a quick peek, yeah, and back, and do it again.
The enemy's got a positional advantage.
Quick and shifty. Quick and shifty. If I'm a sniper, I can see your heads, fellas. A gunfight, it's a trade-off between zeroing in on a target and, say, becoming one.
I'm gonna stick it right here and just point the gun, and I'm not even gonna look. I'm just gonna shoot everyone.
That's my girl.
Can I just shoot without looking?
Peyton, I hope you're either a fast runner or really good at hand-to-hand combat. So, how do you change this game? These targets are being nailed from about 45 meters with a standard issue assault rifle. Nothing really remarkable, unless you look at the shooter. Matthew is safely tucked around a corner while he picks his targets off. For the first time in the history of gunfights, someone has come up with a video-based system which can keep a soldier safely tucked around a corner while accurately zeroing in on his target. Matthew calls it the Smart Sight.
All right, so Andrew, this is Lantec right here.
This is where you do all your work,
This is where we do the magic, right here.
Matthew is CEO of Lantec Inc., and Smart Sight is his only product. His office is in the garage of his family home, and that's why he won't reveal its exact location. Oh, I gotta go straight to the guns. Wow. So, Matthew, the whole purpose of the Smart Sight allows a soldier to fire from a safer position. How does it work?
How it works is we take a picture with the camera that's real time. This image from the camera ends up in here without a wire.
Yep.
Then, over that image, we superimpose a reticle. That's what you use to aim with.
Yeah.
And then we bring the whole image, the composite image, up to the heads-up display.
The mounted portion of Smart Sight is still too large for Matthew's liking, but it's waterproof, dustproof, and can take a licking. Also, it's extremely light at just over half a kilogram. The entire system weighs less than 1.5 kilograms, which is important to the typical infantryman who goes into battle with over 36 kilograms of gear. So everything that I see in my left eye is exactly where my muzzle is pointing.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, that is.
Well, it's totally real. This is not smoke and mirrors. This is real delivery.
Cool. So, here's what you need to know about our Matthew Haggerty. He's a former investment banker. He always travels with a sidearm, and in the 1990s, he became a test shooter for Hughes Aircraft, who were developing a gun sight they called the Land Warrior.
Basically, it's an infrared video camera.
Yeah.
And what it does is it picks up the digital image from the person that's emanating heat. As an ancillary part of their program, they were trying to make it so that they could fire this device around a corner.
Okay.
They had problems with it, and they never got there.
But you did. 10 years ago, when Matthew quit Hughes to develop his Smart Sight, he was a lone inventor. But when he developed his proof of concept, which is the first step in development of an idea, the U.S. military gave him enough money to hire some engineers to keep refining it. One of them, Bob Wilk, whose son presently serves in the military.
He works with special forces and PSYOPs. So when I'm working on this, I'm thinking about him and his buddies.
Right.
Michael Beck
We call him my executive officer, or XO.
and Tom Noggle, who has the distinct honor of being hired, fired, and rehired by Matthew.
I fired 5 of them
You fired 5 engineers?
on the same day.
I've been interested in the project for a long time, and I respect what he's done with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the can too.
Matthew is the first to admit he's a hard ass, but he's driving everyone to the same goal. Get that wireless video relay system working perfectly.
One of the aspects that has always been a real problem with these sorts of designs is the delay or the latency through the system. And
That's when I'm using the weapon and it's the second delay, right?
Yes.
What I'm seeing in my eyepiece is not really occurring
Right.
at that time, real time.
And that's particularly an issue if you've got the bad guy running across your field of
Yes.
view, and you believe he's here when he's actually
I'd
here.
have to lead him by a second, and what does that look like?
So the delay in the video processing circuitry here is less than 1/5000th of a second.
I mean, that's fast. How fast is that?
Well, it's probably 1/100th of an eye blink.
100 times faster than I'm blinking my eye right
Yes,
now.
yes.
What about now?
What
What about now? That's pretty fast.
Okay, so the military has given you seed money. You have your team. You got rid of almost all of the latency effect. A no-brainer green light, am I right? No. The government was taking their sweet time approving any new funds for Matthew. And with his family raiding the change jar and his engineers wishing they'd stayed fired,
Is that motivational or is it sheer panic?
Some of both.
Some of both, yeah.
Matthew made a Hail Mary call to his congressman. Luckily, the assistant who answered the phone was a former soldier who lost his commander in a gunfight. So, instead of the runaround, Matthew was put right through to the congressman himself.
A call from a congressman's office kind of helps move things along. That's a pretty simple green light. It was
Sure.
odd that somebody was doing it in the mountains in Sonora.
Right.
But the more we checked out Matthew, the more we felt that he was purely legitimate and had a real good innovation there that needed help. If it lives up to what I think the potential that it has, I can't think of anything better that I could have done with 16 years in Congress.
This is the sheriff's range.
All right, what'd you say you call your truck?
Jezebel.
All right, Jezebel. Get us in there.
So what I want you to do, Andrew, is to experience what it's like to shoot over a berm without the smart sight system. Which ones you want?
Let me take the guy in the middle.
You got them. All right, we're hot.
Range is hot.
Okay. How you doing? You got your guy?
I have absolutely obliterated this guy.
Right on.
I just finished writing my name.
You're hitting your target.
Yeah.
Good accuracy, but our heads are up.
Yeah,
So
we're a
now
target
gonna-
as much as they are. Here I go. So it's a pistol grip.
Yeah,
Are you ready for this?
born ready. Nice shot.
Yeah, he's done.
You're doing great.
So, you want to know what it was like? Well, shooting like this felt kind of weird at first, but even though I had to adjust, I was still able to nail my target.
So this is your target right here, Andrew,
Right.
but that's without the smart sight system.
So
that's
that's
just with
just-
the red dot aim point.
Exposed, looking through the scope, firing.
You did well. You
Yeah.
did very well.
But let's
Okay.
see what happened as soon as I was down in that fully tucked position where no one could shoot me. This is outstanding.
Look at that.
Look at that. How about
Coming
this?
around.
How about that shot right there?
That's beautiful.
How'd he do right there? One shot missed the target. Everything else was sort of a hit. Basically, my shot pattern is almost as tight as the first one.
Coming up, field testing the smart sight with real badass operators.
Oh, this is awesome.